Yo, just as I promised, we are going to go over Git a little bit. So, first thing I want to kind of go over with Git is the problems that it solves. And there's so many things that it can do. It's definitely, if you're wanting to be a programmer, you should definitely look into using it. But so the first problem is when I used to have anything, like if I was writing papers in school or trying to do a code project or anything, I always seem to want to retain my past versions of everything. And it becomes super messy where I'm going to have, say, I might have project awesome here, right? And then inside that project awesome, I've got maybe 3 files just for, this might be rename this to cool app dot htm, and then this might be a JavaScript file, this might be a CSS file, whatever it is. And I do some changes here. It's awesome, and I'm happy with it. And then I decide I need to go add some more things to it, but I don't know how it's going to work. So I might take this and copy it. Now I've got a copy of this thing, and I might call this awesome 001. I come in here, I add another file, maybe, or I make a change within this file. Here is a change. Oops. I can't type, and you're going to learn that real quickly. Save. And so I save this file, and now I've got, there's a period of time where I'm like, yeah, this is maybe what I want, but I don't want to get rid of my other thing. And so now something else comes into play, and I copy this, and now I'm going to rename this to 002. But I still don't want to delete any of these ones because I'm not quite sure what I want. And it seems to be a problem that I have, and I think this is the problem that a lot of other people have too. So, Git solves that. And that if you need to go back and do something, revert everything back to Awesome Project 1.001 or the original Awesome Project, you can. All right, so let's get ready for some funky artwork here. Um, Another problem that Git solves is managing the project files and changes and basically keeping a history of everything that has been changed and by who. So the problem that it solves is that I have a team of people. I've got, we say Lynn, we have Chase, we have Brandon, we'll call him Bran, and then we have me. All right, and if we had a project together, we could essentially like just share a computer, and then everybody takes turns working on the project. But that's really super inefficient. They're all adults and they have lives and different time frames to work on things. So then we have other options where we can email those files to each other. So I have a project, and I made a change, and then I can send that change to everybody, and they can make the change that I did on their projects, or copy paste the file or whatever it is. Or I just send them the project. But that's super messy, right? So the other options are I can create a server. I have a server somewhere, and I have the project here, and in that project there's files inside there. All right. And here we can remote into this computer. So everybody has access to remote into the server, and then anybody can make changes anytime they want to. But the problem is, like I'm working on this file here, file 2, and then Lynn decides she wants to work on that file as well at the same time, I save my changes, and then soon after, Lynn saves her changes, and it completely overwrites all of my changes. All right, so it's like that's not like it's almost impossible to do that without something to help intervene. There's other methods to do this, but Git is one of them. So it actually puts like a .git file in here, which is a hidden file. So you can look up what a .git file is. We'll probably have a video on that later on. And then this keeps track of the history. So there's a timeline of changes that are happening. So everybody, this is can create their own branches, and you can just think of branches as separate copies of the folders, or separate copies of the project. And we have our main branch here. Some people call it master, but we got the main branch here. And then I've got the Nate branch, the Brandon branch, the Chase branch, and the Lynn branch. We've all pulled in our timeline and all have the exact copy of this branch. Of the project from the master branch. And then Lynn decides to make a change to it, and she can commit that change to the project, and now the main branch has been updated. And so then we all, in turn, can pull, we'll do that right here, pull Lynn's changes, and now we all have the copy of that. So then Chase decides that he's going to make a change, bloop, to the repository, and then Lynn decides that she's going to make another change here, and if she was working on the same file that Chase was, and she did not pull, Git's going to let her know that there's some type of conflict that she needs to resolve. It's going to show her the change that she made. It's going to show her the change that Chase made. It's going to show that, and then she can decide whether she's going to overwrite Chase's change, or work on how we can merge those changes together. So what Chase has done and what Lynn has done works. So what you would probably end up having to do is that commit would not take place, and then she would then pull and then push her new changes. So the whole main branch basically keeps a history of what has been committed and pulled to it, and it will alert you if there's any type of conflicts between the change that the team has made. And another thing that's great about this is if my computer goes down and then I get a new one, here's the new me, I can just pull straight from master, and have not really missed a beat from what the team has done. So, and be able to see the history of all of the stuff that's happened. So the other thing that allows people to do is do review of other people's code before they commit it to the branch. So you can do a pull request. So before something gets sent to the main branch, you know, if Lynn made a change, she can do, we'll say, a pull request. And then certain rules can be set that there needs to be 2 people who review that change. So Chase and Brandon might review or change. Once they give the okay, then the change is allowed to be committed to the main branch. So that's just a few things.